trust me, I'm not. I am not afraid of the backlash.
Yeah, because you know it's coming.
I'm not giving time of day to ninth place or whatever place you got. I don't know about that.
I don't care, man.
Last. No matter what place you are, you're last.
If you ain't first, you last.
Last.
All of us watch nigga nice. Come on, man. Thank you.
Like if she would get like third, if she would get like fourth or fifth, it's like okay, she's been off for a minute, but like dead last and a gap. I was like, whoa, something going on there. It'd be like an injury or something, I don't know. But,
yeah, let me explain something to you. When he said if you're not first, you're last. I mean, we all want the winner's mentality. If you get second, okay, you got second. You didn't get first, you got last. But if you're last, like you're last, bro. Like that's not good.
2 is not a win, and 3 nobody remember.
Something like that.
And 8, nobody know who the fuck you are.
Y'all need a whooping.
Oh my god!
Hey, the way that I compare it, it's like imagine you trying to go to Chick-fil-A at 10:29. You in last place, bro. You ain't getting no breakfast.
Trying to order breakfast.
You ain't getting no breakfast. Finna get you a chicken sandwich and some fries.
Well, that depends. Exactly. Depends on what Chick-fil-A you go to. Depends on what Chick-fil-A. You go to Chick-fil-A in Winchester, you ain't getting that.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. At 10:15, it's a wrap.
I was about to say at 10:15. I didn't
They gonna tell you straight up. Hey,
we out.
we out breakfast. We took it's lunchtime now, bro.
Yeah, the Chick-fil-A on Winchester could be like, nah, bro, we ain't got it. That's what it's gonna say.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of, I know we in the pregame. My bad, but I went there to the Chick-fil-A on Winchester. Stupid me, it's my fault. I got my food, and on the app, I trusted them to give me everything that I wanted. So I got my chicken biscuit, I got my orange juice, I got my hash browns. Tell me why I did not get my jelly. They gave me this dry ass biscuit with no jelly. So I had to eat a chicken biscuit, like. No, Winchester, I'm done. That's my fault.
Yeah, it is.
Don't be done. It's your fault.
It is your fault. Savage, now good darn well that Memphis does not read all the time. So that is true. Itself was the issue. But they became 14 an hour.
If anything, you're the L of the Month candidate already.
Wow. Hey, hold on, man. I actually carry Richardson now. Hold on.
Look, they trying to bring it back around to where it needs to go.
Right back around.
Come on.
All right, well, speaking of which, man, let's go ahead and get this started, man. I'm not sure how Sharky does the countdown, so at this point, we probably don't even need it because we're going to start it off with Sha'Carri. Let's be real, y'all. Welcome to Let's Be Real podcast, the dopest sport podcast, a.k.a. the fattest sport podcast, a.k.a. the blackest sport podcast in the world.
That's the third idea for the summer.
There you go.
Underdog, put that on the tweet. But yeah, we're gonna start like this. We're gonna start off actually with Sha'Carri. Let's be real about getting real. So of course we joked around all last night, but y'all, we really live in a society to where we will be your best friend when you're winning, and we will kill you when you're losing. Make it make sense.
Who won't go first? I want Sheedy to go first because Sheedy was going ham yesterday.
He the one going to Jamaican restaurants on purpose and shit.
Before Sheedy goes, basically a case is don't throw stones if you live in a glass house, man. It's just that simple.
Yeah,
the game, you got to bag it up. It's just
and this is hurting my knee.
You don't get these jokes.
Yeah, so they were jokes. And some of the people that had the biggest issues with the jokes were people that don't even watch sports. So let me go ahead and tell you what happened. Shasha was recording a video with Nike endorsement for this race. She was talking her stuff for this race that just happened about 18, 19 hours ago about how she was going to do. Well, she did. She did ninth place. And after the race, she talked. Should she have been the person to talk? Not at all. I don't remember another time when we talked to someone that got last place in any race, but she got the mic. She cussed. Pretty, what they call it, powerful language. Those people that don't look like us call it powerful language. But in her powerful language, she did state, how she'll be back. This was just one race. Well, good old me, I waited for that next race because I needed to see it. And here she was going to the island spot to get her some food. Now, what we don't discuss and what has not been discussed to the extent, and I want to make sure I'm very clear, there was a more distinguished person of Olympic caliber that was in races this time. Her name is Allison Felix. She also ran the 200 meters. She also, ladies and gentlemen, got last place. But did she film a commercial about Nike the day of for this? No, she did not. Was she talking mess even after she won her medals? No, she was not. She was humble and got humbled in the 200 meters. She can come back. Miss Richardson, Godspeed, whatever you want to do. But to me, if you ain't rolling up that chronic before these races no more, then please do not enter those races. And if you're going to give up, you really gave up. Let's call a spade a spade. She stumbled out the block, not really stumbled, but she didn't get her fastest out the block. And you could literally see her give up within those first 25 to 30 meters. To my people that don't watch sports, what is that teaching us? That's teaching us that it's okay to give up and watch others do well. And then I'm going to talk trash about it and then not show up to the next race. That race is only an hour difference. She literally backed out. I will let nobody, no one. And I've watched slander for all types of athletes. She talked it. And when I tell you she walked it in a sprint. Floor is whoever next.
Before you go, Skyler, I just want to comment on Sharky's comment. Nobody is exempt from the smoke. Yeah, that's probably what she needs to do before the race, but
Can we carry on, please, Skyler?
Leave Sha'Carri alone.
Go ahead, Lito. Go ahead, Lito. You on mute, by the way, if you trying to talk.
Okay, I'll just say that was mean. I'll agree with you. I think the build up going into that race. What happened with her not being able to run in the Olympics, the commercial that led up into the race. And if the commercial was ran and she had the performance that she had, that would make you'd be like, okay, cool. But it's what you said after. It was your post interview after the race is why I think there's so much backlash. Like you can't have the performance that you had and then talk the way that you talked after the race. You got to be humble. And you got to be willing to take your L's on the chin. And so I'm not sure. I wouldn't go as far as you said, Chidi, as far as she gave up in the race, but you could definitely tell within that first 10, 15, maybe even 30 meters that race wasn't hers. And not only was that race not hers, she wasn't placing. I hope she has another good race. I hope she has another good one in her. But we also saw, and I think we should give these women a highlight as well. Is the women from Jamaica? They owned their race. They knew exactly what they were doing. It seemed as if they had an extra bit of motivation going into the race. I think one of the women were interviewed, and they didn't specifically say that, but she alluded to the fact that we weren't looking for her. We knew exactly who would place. We knew exactly who was going to get first, second, and third, and they definitely owned it. So I definitely think their performance is worth a round of applause, and I hope Sha'Carri has a very good performance the next outing. I will say that, because if it's not, then what happened last night is only going to get worse. I'll say that.
It's on Trevor or me?
Trevor trying to Sha'Carri on to his words.
I mean, I can go.
Man. Go ahead, Savage.
Yeah. So let me just get to the whole social media thing. That's the nature of social media. And Sha'Carri is relatively young, relative to the sport. She's 21 years old. So she got a long time. I think Allison Fitz is like what 36. That's like 15-year difference, man. So she got plenty of time to get her bearings, get back right. But the main thing is this. We talked about like the mental health component with Sha'Carri and how everything that happened, as far as like her family member being lost, things like that, is hard to not catch, the smoke when you go from saying, oh, I have this going on and, the weed situation, and then turn around and talk trash before and after, and then not expect people to respond who, let's be real, are waiting for her downfall. Personally, I'm not waiting for her downfall. Like, I support Sha'Carri throughout the whole thing. I didn't even know who she was prior to the whole weed situation. But seeing her, I mean, I was just against the whole weed thing anyway. Like, that was stupid to me. It wasn't about her racing and winning. It was more about her like being able to run in the first place. But first place. But yeah. As far as like her, I wouldn't have said nothing. I would have did the post interview and said, you know what, these girls were better than me today. I know that I can run, but today give credit to the Jamaican women, which some extent she kind of did, but she could have saved the expletives and all the energy. And I know she was hyped up after that whole race, as most athletes tend to be. It is kind of hard to do a post-game interview and not still be in the heat of the moment. But I would have much rather her just say, you know what, I'm not doing an interview. I'll do one later when I'm calmed down or whatever. And I think she'll learn from it. She's a young athlete. She'll get better from it. But I mean, as far as the smoke on social media, nobody's exempt. Like Cap said, nobody's exempt, dog. Like LeBron not exempt, KD not exempt. Serena, she catches her L's on social media. But the main thing to combat that is to do what? Win. The next race you come out and win, everybody gonna be quiet. Period. So just get out, just train, get better. And come out better next time. That being said, them Jamaican girls are different, ladies and gentlemen. They black women too, and they come out the womb running. So I don't know if she'll ever get better. Better than the Jamaican women, because it's not just one, y'all. It's not just two, y'all. It's three of them. So you got to be better than three Jamaican women who are born for this stuff. So good luck to Sha'Carri.
Yes. Personally,
I don't think it's gonna happen against them. maybe in American trials. But hey, I want to see her do well. But she gotta take this humble pie, take it in stride, keep pushing.
That's all what it is. Just take the humble pie, keep pushing. Sha'Carri on, as I've been saying all podcasts, and that's the last time I'll use it. But yeah, I agree. It is good for the sport because now we have eyes on it. But I think it was the wrong eyes for this point. I mean, of course, what happened, but we could have used that portion to even highlight her and again just highlight the Jamaican women that actually placed and actually won this relay. So in the end, I'm rooting for Sha'Carri as well. I'm pretty sure she's going to use this as a learning experience and is going to get better from it. Will she get back on top as far as the world is concerned? It remains to be seen because Jamaica right now, if you watch the Olympics at that portion, they pretty much dominated the Olympics. So it's gonna be tough. So, but in the end, I think in the end we're all rooting for her. But that's the greatest elixir to this smoke on social media is just to win. As long as you win, everything will stay quiet. But anything else, just gotta take it in stride.
So what I got from this whole thing, and we can definitely Sha'Carri move on, is that weed does make everything better. So speaking of making everything better, wow. Mr. Skyler, I know, right? I mean, it does, right? The city of Memphis basketball just got a hell of a lot better. Skyler, go ahead and bring it to us.
Yeah, hopefully, well, I mean, if it is, then it is. If it ain't, it ain't. Maybe it's with with weed as well too. But the Memphis Tigers basketball program yet again is in the news, albeit for good things. They have officially added Rasheed Wallace, for a former NBA All-Star, former NBA star, to their coaching staff. I think that was announced on Wednesday. I think that was, conversation we kind of knew that was happening, especially with Jalen Duren committing to the University of Memphis not long ago. We're still waiting on the official word from Emoni Bates. He had his official visit to Memphis on Wednesday. Actually, yes, same day. Timing. Wednesday, when the same day as this news was announced for Rasheed Wallace. And so we're still waiting on that official word for him to, to find out if he's going to commit to Memphis. But I guess my question for y'all is, I think with the addition of Rasheed Wallace, I guess what's y'all's, I guess, what do you think he adds to this coaching staff that they probably already didn't have? So the order is in the chat. Savage, I'll start with you. What do you think, with the addition of Rasheed Wallace, whether it's for recruiting purposes, X's and O's, which is something, we've talked about that Penny needs as well too. Or, I mean, even just the NBA experience, just to say that, everybody on the staff is, has that NBA experience. What do you think he adds to the team and coaching staff?
Off top NBA experience. This is a champion. It's kind of funny because the first ever episode, Let's Be Real podcast, Sharky mentioned that Rasheed Wallace could have been the greatest power forward of all time, and I made like the notorious face where I was like, "What in the world?" But I mean, yeah, Rasheed Wallace, his talent, as an NBA player was like unmatched. Like he could shoot, he can work on the block, had good defense. Killed the Lakers in that finals in like 04-05. But he brings that NBA pedigree, number one. But number two, I mean, the man, he went to a blue blood. He went to North Carolina, so he knows about good coaching. He, like I said, he was an all-star player. I think the big thing that I want to see from Rasheed Wallace that he probably will do, I want to see big men develop. I want to see them be able to shoot jumpers. I want to see them to be able to handle rock. I want to see them to play good defense. And again, he's paired with Larry Brown, former coach that was in Detroit with him. So there's continuity with that. There's a level of respect that he has for Larry Brown, but also, I mean, this validates everybody on the roster. I mean, you got Penny, you got Topper, you got Brown, you got Rasheed Wallace. You got high level players. Like this is such a big deal for I think the big man, DeAndre Williams, Jalen Duren, Malcolm Dandridge. We should see development from them, if not on offense, definitely more so on defense and on the glass, because I mean Rasheed was that kind of player when he played. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see Emoni Bates eventually down the road at some point. But with Rasheed Wallace, I think this is a big deal. Like Penny has done a great job at like rounding this staff out, and a lot of people were doubting that Penny could do this, when he first got hired. And here we are, 3 years later, years later, and Penny not only is bringing in high level talent on the court, but also on the sidelines as well too. That's going to be crucial. So it's looking scary for everybody else. And one thing I also want to include, and this can kind of segue into Emoni Bates later if we talk about him, but I think people are Sharky. I think people are, especially like Kentucky fans are saying like, oh, Memphis is not going to win a title, blah, blah. I mean, if we win a title, great. I just want to see deep tournament runs. Like if we win, it's already hard enough to win a tournament anyway. It's like 68 teams in the tournament. But if we get to like Sweet 16, Elite Eights, Final Fours, that's good for the program and good for us. Everything else is going to be gravy on top of that. So, yeah, Rasheed Wallace, I'm with it. I'm cool with it. It's cool with me.
Okay. Yeah, to elaborate more on Savage's point on, I guess he mentioned as far as the defensive side of things, as far as the big man is concerned, toughness is what Rasheed Wallace is going to bring in addition to everything Savage just mentioned. We know Memphis can defend. They're one of the best defensive teams in the country. Adding Rasheed Wallace is just going to add more to that dynamic. And of course, we know his pedigree, being an NBA All-Star, NBA champion. He played at the Blue Blood at North Carolina, so he knows exactly how things are going to go. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out with the big man is concerned. Eventually, with Emoni Bates, if he commits whenever that happens. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. And Cap, I love you, but you're not going to sit here on this podcast and disrespect Timothy Theodore Duncan like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It is what it is. But all in all, man, this is a great move. For Penny adding Rasheed Wallace. But hey, roll the ball out, man. Let's play. That's all I got to say.
So for this move, I absolutely loved it. Because one, I knew that we definitely needed an assistant coach who knows the game, right? And we bring somebody who, like Matt said, he gonna bring the technicals. I highly doubt that, but I think what he is gonna bring, like you said, Trevor, that edge to the players, defensively. Like if Musa Cisse would have been able to work out with Rasheed Wallace, I think that he probably would have been a top 20, top 15 pick coming into next year's draft. Rasheed Wallace, while he's one of the edgier players of NBA history, he's also one of the first big men to step out into the three-point line and do what he does at a very good rate. He is the NBA champion with the Detroit Pistons. He hold on. 42.
That's a higher percentage than the Moose was shooting at free throws, but continue. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness. Oh, can't we miss him, man?
Hey, he ain't lying, but
good, man. But no, like I said, he's doing his. We got a good player. At first, the rumors were that we were looking to bring Chris Bosh on. I think that's been a rumor like the last year or so, and he would have been good. Because he does what he did, what Rasheed Wallace did, and that's expanded the game for our big man. So he's bringing the edge, like you said, Trev. He's from North Carolina, so he knows what a good basketball program knows, in the foundation of it. And I think recruiting wise, it makes us that much better when Penny is able to say we got Larry Brown and Rasheed Wallace on right next to me. So I'm excited to see Memphis Tigers basketball. I do expect us to have a deep run this season.
The question is, what is brought, and I think just the presence of how to be a better post player is something that we have missed for years. And I don't think Penny has done his best to develop talent overall, especially even at the guard position. But having an assistant that can truly focus on just the bigs, like if she can just work on, it would have been the calf at this point, but we'll call him the Moose, whatever, or Precious, and what that could have done, right, for them and to develop their talent. But legitimately, his block work is still bar none. And so that's huge. And that's one thing that has been missing in the transition of just basketball overall, but especially in the college ranks. You watch college basketball, all they do is go to the three-point line. That's it. And so when they get to the pros, it's taking them years to even develop to try to find what it's like to be in the mid-range.
Better preach.
On the post. So you might as well get it in Memphis with Sheed, who to me is one of the better ones. I'll give you that, Cap. I definitely will. We will address the other comment later. Just about that footwork. Another thing I think he'll bring is his ability to, how I want to put this, his attitude changed over the years. He was not the same person with the Pistons as he was with the Blazers. And so you're talking about 17 to 20-year-old kids. Some are transferring over and have a different personality or mindset going into this. I think Sheed is one of those that can yoke you up and talk to you the way you need to be talked to, and to help develop their mindset as well as what you're here to do. You may have been number one in your high school, but you're number 7 here. So let's get that together and get that taken care of and squared away. So I think he also brings that aspect, besides what you guys have already mentioned, to this field of talent that is the coaching talent that is here at the University of Memphis. Skyler?
Yeah, I can't do anything but agree with everything that y'all said, whether it's from a development standpoint, whether I think, it's to develop, the players in the front court, whether that's Jalen Duren. I think another player that will quietly very much so benefit from this move is DeAndre Williams. He doesn't get talked about at all. He's not that, that 5-star name, but I think he's going to be a very vital key into that potential run that Savage was talking about, because, he has the NBA experience, which at the end of the day, most teams that win the NCAA tournament, they have some form of experience on the belt. And I think DeAndre Williams is like 24, I think, something like that. So he has enough experience for everybody. So I think, him and Jalen Duren that definitely benefit from this move. But I think, it also helps Penny just with recruiting, just to say, I've been in the league for X, X, Y, and Z years. Larry Brown has been in the league this amount of years. Cody Topper has helped develop, Devin Booker, one of the rising stars in the NBA. And then you just say, oh yeah, and then I got Rasheed Wallace here too, who, again, to your point, she is probably, one of the best big men in the league, especially being on the block. So, if you can walk into any recruit's home, kitchen, living room with that staff, like you could be like, all right, damn, like, okay, yes, I'll come. Like, cause that's legit. Like, not too many teams can do that. To be honest with you, now I think about it, like that's the D League. Like Memphis and that coaching staff, that's the D League. Like that's the developmental league. Like you have a great point guard, you have great power forward, you have one of the greatest coaches of all time. Like that's a lot to say. That I don't think anybody else and any other program in the country can say. Like that's a lot. And again, I said this a couple of weeks ago. Penny, the man is gold. Like he does everything at its time for a specific reason. And I feel like, everything that he's done has been gold. He's done everything that he's done for a reason when it's done. And so, no, Savage, you want to talk about Imani Bates? Yeah, because I think at this point we're just kind of waiting on it. But, this is news. And I think we all kind of see the Imani Bates thing coming. But this is great. Like, I just bought my season tickets for the Tigers, so I can't wait to see what the coaching staff, what type of energy they bring to the players as well too, and of course NIL. So we'll transition from hold
on real quick, Skyler. One more thing is that actually we all know that Rasheed Wallace wasn't actually supposed to come to the University of Memphis at first. He was supposed to go to Lamar College and help Mr. Bonzi Wells, who's now the head coach for Lamar. So Mrs. Clayton ended up asking the question, why is Bonzi under the Memphis Tigers topic? Why exactly? I'm pretty sure you can answer this one real quick for her.
Yeah, so actually Bonzi Wells was supposed to, I think he was supposed to be on Penny's staff. Wait, no. Rasheed
was supposed to be on.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's on there. But I still think adding Bonzi Wells to to the LOC, like to the Lamar basketball program, again, that's huge, bro. Like I'm not sure of all the coaches in that league, but to say Bonzi Wells is your coach for for your basketball program, again, is crazy. Now, again, I felt extremely old when I saw this. I'm like, dang, like Bonzi Wells, like I just feel like I just saw him play like 10 years ago. So again, just like what does he bring to not just LOC, but what does he bring to the city with him just now being named as the coach of LOC? Same order.
Again, it's the NBA experience, man. I think when you're a basketball player at a small school at an HBCU, you're looking to get better and develop. So there was that player. He was coming to Memphis, but then he went somewhere else. The guy came from Hampton. I forgot his name. But he went to a small school.
Mikey Williams?
No, not Mikey. He was coming to Memphis this year, and then he left.
No, okay.
I forgot his name. Yeah, but either way, it doesn't matter. Like when you're thinking about like a small school, you're thinking about more times than not from the player perspective. It's like, how can I get better to go somewhere else? Which sounds bad for HBCU, but that's the reality of basketball and this stuff. Like Bonzi was going to help develop these players, one, and then two, bring in better players to Lemoyne, knowing that might not have been able to go to Memphis. Like, you know what, I'm going to go down straight to Lemoyne, and maybe if I get better, I can go to Memphis. So it may low-key be a pipeline one way or another. But, I mean, just thinking about for Lemoyne, this is great for Lemoyne to have, an NBA player who's been in the game, who played well, who's been in the city before. It's gonna be good for Lemoyne. I'm happy about it. I'm happy to see what they do down the street.
Yeah, same here, man. It's everything Savage just touched on. NBA experience. You're keeping your local talent basically home at this point with this move. So for those that were unable to possibly get recruited to go to Memphis, they can go to LOC, get themselves better, and possibly look to go to Memphis. But I gotta toot my own horn on this for Rasheed and Bonzi coming to the city, because I had a chance to say what's up to both of them when I had a chance to go to the Iverson Classic, and now that they're both here in the city is great. So I got to toot my horn just a little bit on that one. So, but I'm excited for both Bonzi and Rasheed. Definitely going to be at that first game when these two teams match up. Definitely may stick around for the LOC homecoming basketball game this year. So I'm excited, man. Memphis is now becoming the basketball city. It was a basketball city now, but it's becoming the basketball city.
As we should be. Like with Bonzi going to an HBCU, right? That only makes HBCUs that much better. We see Coach Primetime at TSU. We see other black players going, former black players, you know, trying to reach out their hand to HBCUs, and I think that it's beautiful to see, especially being somebody of the culture, of somebody of the city like Bonzi Wells was. He's still some of a Grizz Nation's favorite Grizz player at this point. So huge shout out to Bonzi Wells, and we also got to give a shout out to their podcast. Bonzi Wells and Rasheed Wallace do have a podcast called Let's Get Technical, so make sure y'all go check that out. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be dope content on there as well. So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see that for sure. But shout out to Bonzi Wells.
Yeah, and I like your first part of it too, because like really a shout out to Deion Sanders, right? Deion Sanders is one that said, hey, we need to really go back into our schools and go back and get our people back, right? And giving those that experience, and it's opened the doors to like, you know, other players, including Eddie George, right? Eddie George is at TSU. And coaching there. And so it's giving more light to HBCUs. And so kudos to Bonzi, kudos to HBCU. This is a win for HBCUs, not just LOC itself, for that. So if you ask me whether it's bringing more talent to surround the talent that is with HBCUs. We don't talk about HBCU basketball at all because we feel as though, and I'm not saying that we do, but we feel as though the talent is watered down because it's not D1 basketball. They're not in the Final Four. They're not in the Sweet 16. They're not any of those things. But there's talent there. They just need to be groomed better. So to hear Bonzi Wells, and I'm sure this is going to be a domino effect for HBCU basketball coaches now, to hear more of people that can actually do this. So kudos to that. And maybe Chris Bosh can find somewhere there.
I think this helps. I think this helps in two ways. I think one, it helps again to what Savage just said. You know, it helps those players, you know, develop. It helps because I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of joint practices, whether we know about them or not, between LOC and Memphis. And I think it will benefit those players at Lamar Norton to kind of go up against, you know, a little bit upper level, but at least to go against D1 talent on a pretty frequent basis to, you know, to get ready for the league and to get ready for that tournament. So I definitely think it helps them in that case. But, you know, to you, what you just said, Chidi, I think not only does, you know, this give more conversation to HBCUs, but it gives conversation to those HBCUs that are not talked about, right? We always hear about, you know, the Hampton, we always hear about the Howards, the TSUs, the Clark Atlantas, but you don't hear about, you know, Lamar Norton. And you know, I think with the addition of Bonzi Wells, you're going to constantly have, whether it's NBA prospects, whether it's, you know, scouts from other D1 schools, just to kind of, you know, come in there from time to time, find players that will, you know, help fill out their roster too. So I think this is nothing but a huge win for Memphis, but also for LFC as well too.
Cool. Well, let's take this from college basketball to college football. Trevor, what you got?
All right. Well, in the effort to take down the Thanos of college football, which is the SEC, the ACC, the Big Ten, as well as the Pac-12 have been in discussions of forming a big super alliance, basically, which they're going to make official because I just read just yesterday that they're planning to formally announce that they're going to form this alliance with these three conferences. So we can keep the order that's in on the screen, starting with two. Just want to get you guys' take on this new super alliance now going from the Power 5 to now the Power 2.
I mean, we saw what happened in Infinity War. Like they lost to Thanos. So I mean, I don't know too much to say. I mean, maybe people will actually start watching Big Ten football on Saturday, you know, if they going against a Pac-12 school, which I can't even name a Pac-12 school, to be honest with you.
USC.
Ohio State and Oregon play this year. You're welcome.
Sure, that may be the game of the year for Big Ten football, but I think that if you gotta do what you gotta do to make the money go up, right? So You know what I'm saying? Hey, shout out to my Longhorns, but don't you be disrespectful. You know, but you got to do what you got to.
You in for a rude awakening if you a Longhorns fan. Boy.
Give it time, man. Just give it time.
This SEC different down here. Like you in the Big 12, just had to worry about Oklahoma and maybe a couple of others. Here, you can get Arkansas can catch you slipping. Like I'm just
right. I mean, like I said, the lines, you got to do what you got to do for the money. So, I mean, if it makes sense for the Not Cool at All League, then I guess it makes sense with us. So, it is what it is. Good luck.
Yeah, I haven't done too much reading about the Super Alliance that is formed. I see you didn't mention the big, what was it, the Big 6 now? That it's the Big 12 that went down. That it was shrunk. Well, anyways, but I mean, I call a spade. Like I am a Ohio State football fan. Y'all know that. But I know that the SEC has better talent and has won the championship. You cannot disagree with what Alabama has done. You can't disagree with what LSU has done in these years. And I didn't mention Texas, duh. And like, I don't know what the Super Alliance is going to do. The SEC is just better right now. It just happens. Like NBA, sometimes the Western Conference is way better than the Eastern Conference, right? It just things happen. It's a pendulum swing. But SEC hasn't given up their grips yet about it, and I don't know if they will in this upcoming year or two. But I will say this. I'm always and still going to cheer for Ohio State football through and through. I'm a thorough fan, and we got some chips coming up, even though we do only play Oregon, I think. But we got some discussion, and we got some room for discussion for Ohio State football moving up. Even if we do lose to an SEC team, well, I bet you we put up a better fight than the Longhorns.
Oh shit, it's on me. Oh no,
I mean, just being difficult today. Welcome back, Sheedy. Welcome back. Let's give a round of applause for Sheedy coming back, y'all. Let's do that. Because my God, he's starting off, and we ain't even got to the NFL yet.
No, this actually made sense. With when you saw the news that Texas and Oklahoma were going to the SEC, every other conference, of course, this had to make sense. This had to make sense in order for you to keep money, I don't want to say to keep money but to keep money rolling in as much as it did over the past couple of years. Because now you're about to see that the SEC is about to take over. They already have a huge partnership with ESPN. A lot of their games are, run through ESPN already as it is. So this does nothing but make sense financially for them. But it also makes sense in the simple fact when it comes to scheduling. Again, with that amount of good teams playing each other every week, as the SEC is, if you're Ohio State, if you're USC, if you're UCLA, if you're Michigan State, you have to, do something along these lines to ensure that you have a fair chance of getting into the playoff, because Alabama could lose, a game. They could lose 2 games, but still be part of that conversation, well, at least right now for the, the Final Four. But, as the playoff expands, they'll still, with 2 losses, they'll still be in the conversation to get into the playoff. If you're Ohio State right now, if you lose 1 game, you may not get in. If you're Michigan, if you're USC, you lose 2 games, you may not get in. So it's better to, go about doing this way and, and have as many teams on your schedule that are ranked in the top 25 for the sake of your resume, because at the end of the day, that's what matters when it comes to December and finding out who gets a playoff spot. So this makes sense.
All right, Savage.
Pac-12, Pac-11, Pac-9, ACC, NCC, Big West, Big South. The SEC gonna win. I don't really care about this mess, man. Don't nobody care about USC football since Reggie and them left. Don't nobody care about Texas football since VY and them left. Don't nobody care about anybody else on the other side of the country. Don't nobody care. SEC gonna take care of business like they always do. You might get 1 year where Ohio State will get the chip, and then it'll go to Clemson, and then it'll go to everybody else in the SEC, Alabama, Georgia, whoever else it is. I don't care. NCAA, get together, or the SEC gonna make its own league.
Gonna make its own league.
Just get together.
Because they could.
Yeah, I don't care. Go ahead, Trevor. I don't care.
Shout out to Reggie Bush for that Wendy's commercial too.
Give him time back at this point. Give him his Heisman back. Yeah, he got the bag with that Wendy's commercial though, but give him
Literally.
his Heisman back. Yeah. But that's pretty much all I have, man. Anybody else before we transition to the NFL? Oh.
Go Longhorns. And Tigers,
Yeah.
of course.
Okay. Can't wait to get the captain back. He at least stays on topic.
Anyway,
Dang,
go ahead.
everybody just shoot. Okay,
As we
whatever.
move along, the NFL season has arrived. There are quarterback position battles that are yet to be determined. So whether it's the Saints, the 49ers, the Patriots, or the Bears, they have each at least two quarterbacks that are vying for the starting quarterback position. So we'll go through each one of those teams. We'll go through those four teams and find out, or we'll discuss who will be week one starting quarterback when the season opens here in a few weeks. So again, that chat is in the order of the chat is there. So we'll start off with the Saints. The Saints currently have Jameis Winston and crap. What's the guy's name?
Taysom Hill.
There you go, Taysom Hill. I guess that's his name. That are vying. They're battling for the QB1 position. So between those two, who do you guys think will be the starting quarterback, or who at least gives the Saints the better chance of at least getting to the playoffs? I'll say that.
Well, starting with me, honest and truthfully, I know despite how country as hell he can be at times with his antics and things of that nature when he's in interviews, but I gotta go with Jameis Winston to be the QB1 for the. I've seen what Taysom Hill can do under center in a real life football game. Just for those who don't know, just go fire up that Saints Broncos game from last season, and that will tell you everything you need to know about Taysom Hill as a quarterback in this league. So for the Saints, I'm not sure they're going to win a whole lot. I mean, they'll probably be in the playoff hunt, but they're not going to be as formidable as they were last season. But if I had to choose somebody, it'll be Jameis. It has to be Jameis Winston for QB1.
I would have to agree with my alien brother. Even though he didn't play much last year, the year before he still threw for 5,000 yards on a bad eye. So if I had to pick one, I'm gonna go Jameis Winston for QB1, and I hope he have a bad season. So
Gotcha.
I mean, it's more games for your Panthers. We get it.
Exactly.
Oh, that's cute. To me, the quarterback should be Cyclops, Jameis Winston. But you don't pay Taysom Hill that amount of money and not let him start game one. So the question is, who's going to start game one? Give me actually Taysom Hill for that. Doesn't mean he's going to finish the season.
Yeah, what Sharky said, give me the guy that's practicing safe sex out here. I go with Jameis Winston. What?
I think Taysom Hill actually is going to be the guy that gets the most reps at quarterback. Can I do that? Can I do that? I think he's going to get the most reps. Okay.
No.
Well, I still think he's going to be quarterback. I think he's still going to be quarterback one. I think Sean Payton is probably one of those coaches that makes decisions and he wants to be, and he's kind of like a GM. He's going to make a decision. He's going to want to prove that he's right. So again, to Sheedy's point about, Taysom Hill getting all that money, he's going to want to prove that Taysom Hill was worth all of that. So I think Taysom Hill is going to get a lot of the reps. I think he's going to be starting week one. Will he be starting by the end of the season? That I'm not sure, but I honestly think Jameis is the better answer there. But I actually think Taysom Hill is going to start. Anything else about that one? All right, so now we will move over to the West Coast. The San Francisco 49ers also have a quarterback battle as well. Recently acquired Trey Lance, top 2 pick in this year's draft, is battling with Jimmy Garoppolo for the starting spot. So again, same question: who do you guys think will be the quarterback one for the start of the season for that team? Same order.
Yeah, this is kind of confusing for me because I'm not sure what San Fran wants to do as a team. Are they still looking to compete to get a playoff spot, or this is some kind of throwaway year to kind of build up Trey Lance? Either way, I feel that Trey Lance should be the starter. whether or not whether the 49ers are competing or not. I just think we've seen enough of Jimmy Garoppolo to know that he's not that guy. Like, he's a serviceable backup, but he's not a typical guy that you would want as a QB1 on a potential playoff contender. So I would just hand the reins over to Trey Lance. You traded up to get him, to take him as high as you did in the draft. So just throw him out there to the wolves, for lack of a better term. Let him learn, let him make his mistakes, and then just see where you are, towards the end of the season, and see what you can go moving forward. So Trey Lance.
I'm gonna actually go with my guy Seth, but I don't see it going past maybe half the season. And I wouldn't say I always smoking that good. I mean, Trey Lance, I said, like Trevor said, he moved up. The 49ers moved up to get him, right, and selected him with the top 2 pick. But you do have Jimmy G, and the 49ers, like Trev said, you hit it right on the head, bro. We don't know what the hell they doing. You know what I'm saying? You got a nice rookie quarterback that you traded up for, but you also have a great quarterback in Jimmy G. But overall, have they gotten better this offseason? I don't think so. But then again, that whole division didn't get better outside of maybe who was it? Arizona,
the Rams got better.
Rams got better.
And the Cardinals.
And the Cardinals. I said the Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals got better too. Yeah, the Cardinals got better too.
And the Rams. So it's like, is starring Jimmy G gonna put you ahead of those 2 teams? I doubt it. Is Trey Lance gonna put you ahead of those 2 teams? I doubt it. So they're just in a crazy situation. Like I said, I got Jimmy G starting, but I definitely don't have him finishing the season as QB1.
Jimmy G starts. And the reason, my philosophy behind that is, if we think about what the 49ers went through last season, let us forget that they had to start a whole bunch of different offensive linemen throughout the entire season. And who protects the quarterback is the offensive lineman. So until they solidify that and get that together, I wouldn't put who I just traded all the way up for a second pick behind a fluky offensive line to possibly get into a Cincinnati Bengals situation where my best player is now out for the remainder of the season. So give me Jimmy G for now. And again, that doesn't mean he's going to end the season, but to start the season, yes, he's QB1.
Give me Trey Lance. I say that because I've been there before with a team that drafted a quarterback in the top 2, and he was 3rd string in the preseason.
Oh hell, you've been there a couple times.
Yeah. But yeah, drafted a quarterback number 2, traded up for him. He was 3rd string quarterback, and then got hurt in the preseason, like first game of the preseason, and it still started week 1 anyway. Money talks, y'all. And when you move assets to go get a quarterback, and then once you draft a quarterback, clock starts on them having to pay them. And with him being a first-round pick, you really only got like 5 years or 4 or 5-ish years to pay him. And you want to know what you got immediately. And more times than not, you'll know what you got from a quarterback if you throw them out into the pool and whether they can play. We've seen that from different quarterbacks in the past couple of years. So I think it's Trey Lance. I think they'll either trade Jimmy G or bench him at some point. So give me Trey Lance.
Exactly. The latter part of what you say, which is, I think that's why they're going to start Jimmy G. I think that's one of the reasons they're going to start Jimmy G week 1, with the idea they're going to trade him at some point. And so, what better way to do that than to at least get some film out there, get him out there for a couple of games to prove that, he still got it. He's worth somebody trading for, because somebody's going to need a quarterback at some point, whether it's midseason, whether it's the end of the season, going into next season, somebody's going to need a quarterback. And I think the other reason why Jimmy G starts is, as talented as Trey Lance is, he doesn't have the reps, in my opinion, to be starting as of yet. Now, granted, again, you moved up to go get him, and I think that's a viable reason why he should start. But I think, the reasons the 49ers weren't that good last year, GD mentioned, one, the offensive line. 2, their entire defense was depleted by like week 4. Like, their backups, CJ Beathard, and I forgot Nick Mullins, I think, they were bad, but they were being saved a lot still by the 49ers' ability to play defense. I think that's what saved them. So with knowing that the last time Jimmy G was healthy, he got you to a Super Bowl and was actually a throw away from you actually winning, I think that's enough for him to at least start. And then maybe they'll go Trey Lance toward the end of the season. But I think Trey Lance is going to be starting at least by the end of the season. But I think Jimmy G starts majority of the season until maybe he gets hurt, because that's his only thing. He just can't stay healthy.
Okay.
All righty. So now we will move over to the Northeast. We'll move over to New England. They have a very spicy quarterback battle up there. Taylor's boy Cam Newton is battling with Sheedy's boy or somebody's boy, Mac Jones from Alabama.
Your boy.
That's your boy.
Your
That's
boy.
your Alabama fan.
That's your boy.
Stop. Chill.
I wish there was just around the horn I could mute all of y'all, but this is my segment. But yeah, so Cam Newton and Mac Jones are battling out for again quarterback one for the Patriots. So again, who starts week 1 for the New England Patriots?
From what I've been seeing, Belichick and crew, they want to start Mac Jones. But I believe week 1, Cam Newton will be the starter. And I think Cam Newton, I'll say my question for later once everybody goes. But I think week 1 it'll be Cam Newton.
Well, I think week 1 through week 16, 17, how many damn games they got this season? The answer is gonna be Cameron Jarrell Newton. Like we saw what he did a year before COVID. COVID kind of messed everybody up, but before COVID, took Cam out, the Patriots are actually playing pretty good football. So I think they're gonna continue what was going on. They got, they got somewhat better receivers, but I got Cam Newton starting. And we're gonna go from there.
I don't know. Cam ain't looking too hot in camp. Cam ain't looking too hot in training camp right now. I'm just gonna be real. Go ahead, Rasheed.
Hey man, I'm gonna go when Cam fall. That's when I'm gonna fall. But until then, he's there for a reason. So we're gonna roll with that.
Yeah, So this one that I'm more torn about. The other ones I was kind of more straightforward because I think Mac Jones played in a system that got him more ready to take over the reins in game 1, as opposed to the other ones so far that we've mentioned. And he's got a coach that believes in that he can. And to your point too, yeah, they put some more weapons around the quarterback, whoever that quarterback is and was. They also got better on defense and got Stephon Gilmore back and some other players. So this is a different and a better, more enhanced Patriots team. Just for sake of argument, man, give me Mac. Let's let Mac cook game 1, quarterback 1. And I'm sure Belichick is going to start with Cam, but just because I don't want to be the same, give me Mac.
You just don't like the Panthers, and that's cool, Sheedy. That's cool. Even if you're a former Panther, it's A-okay, buddy. I get the vibes.
I'm going to talk about the Panthers later. I got some time.
I guess so.
I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna say it's Cam because, like Took mentioned, they were playing actually pretty well until the COVID situation happened. Give me Cam Newton. I think Mac Jones probably. I don't think he's gonna play this year. Honestly, I think it's gonna be Cam the whole year, and then Cam's gonna go somewhere else, and then Mac will be the guy. I don't think Mac is fully ready just yet. Give me Cam Newton.
Yes, I think what y'all may hear even in the background, it's saying Cam Newton, and I actually agree with Cam Newton. Cam Newton's going to start.
She's so smart.
Cam Newton's going to be on a very, very short leash. I think there were a lot of people or players missing from New England's defensive side of the football last year. They opted out due to COVID. And Bill Belichick is going to always have a good defense, and so I think they're going to start Cam Newton with the understanding that we know we have a good defense. We just need to run the ball, protect the ball. If we have to win every game 9-6 or 15-10, then we'll take that. But the reason I said Cam Newton's going to be on a short leash is because Cam Newton turned the ball over a lot last year. And so I think with them adding Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, they added players based on Cam Newton's skill set.
Nelson Aguilar.
No, yeah. Well, he played well in Oakland, so I'll give him that. That's true. But Cam Newton can't turn the ball over as much as he did last year. If he's turning the ball over, a lot by week 3, week 4, they're very comfortable with starting Mac Johnson. I don't think they have a single issue with that. So I think it'll be Cam Newton, and I think Cam Newton he can have and keep the job as long as he's not turning the ball over. If he's turning it over a lot, then that's it.
Yeah, I think a better way to ask this question is I think we're all kind of agree like veterans are probably going to, besides this Trey Lance guy, But like, at what point do we switch over to the next quarterback? You know what I mean? Like, well, I'll let you continue your segment.
No. Tunica Trevor, riddle me this: over or under 6 games for Cam Newton?
Over. Way over.
I'll take over. I think that because I think they're going to be playing much better because of their defense. It may not even necessarily be Cam Newton. I think he'll play better because they have better weapons. Because last year they had absolutely
he wasn't throwing to nobody. He was throwing it to me last season.
Cam Newton didn't play well, but he also didn't have anybody to throw to. So I'll say that. But I think because the team this year will be better, I think Cam Newton's good. I'll take well over 6.
And they have a running game now too. They got like 4 running backs. I saw that when they played us. I was like, golly, they got 4 running backs.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And to Sheedy's point, the last quarterback battle, I actually saved this one for last because this one's it's easy, but it's timing on this one. So Chicago Bears is the last one for this segment. Chicago Bears currently have Andy Dalton, funny, battling Justin Fields for that quarterback position in Chicago. So who's going to be starting week 1 for the Chicago Bears? I think Trevor may have paused. Oh, there you go, I think. Go ahead, Trevor.
Trevor, you good?
Or are you on mute?
I think you might need to call in, Trevor.
It's like he talking.
Trevor can't hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. With the time, I know the timing and everything still seems off, but I'm gonna still go with Justin Fields. He's definitely, some would say, the best quarterback in the draft. I think he's the best quarterback in the draft outside of Sunshine, but Sunshine won't do too much in Jacksonville. So, with that being said, I think he's the best quarterback in this draft. He'll get ample opportunity to do what he needs to do. The timing of him getting, hurt yesterday, I think it was, it sucks. But we do have a couple more weeks until week 1, so I expect Justin Fields to be QB1 for the Bears.
Hey girl. I'm gonna say Andy Dalton. And the reason why I say Andy Dalton is because Fields, to your point, suffered injuries last or whatever it was in the preseason, along with in our final games playing at Ohio State. So we want to keep him. And I think Chicago wants to keep him still ready to play. Now, granted, Andy Dalton didn't give you much, but are we expecting the Bears to contend for a Super Bowl or anything like that, or even a playoff spot? So to me, I would say Andy Dalton is going to start and probably start for some time until Fields is completely healthy and they understand what they have, which is to your point, one of the better players, better quarterbacks that were drafted.
Justin Fields. Just that simple. Justin Fields. I trust it. We know who Andy Dalton is. We know who the player formerly known as Nick Foles is. Justin Fields.
Super Bowl winner, Nick Foles.
That's why I call him the player formerly known as Nick Foles.
I think it's going to be Justin Fields because I think the Chicago Bears fans have waited far too long for a QB1. The man playing crazy in preseason. They got to go ahead and throw him out there for the same reasons why I said Trey Lance to start. Traded up for him. This is your guy. The clock is ticking as soon as the season starts as far as like paying your quarterback, and you want to maximize, getting him, experience as much as possible. I don't care what they told Andy Dalton about him being QB1. If you see Justin Fields on that field, you see exactly why he started in week 1. So give me Justin Fields.
I think Andy Dalton starts week 1, but I think he don't make it past like week 2, because I think Chicago. I think they have Seattle. I think their first game of the season, and so that's difficult for anybody. And I think it's in Seattle too. So I don't think you want to. I don't want to say scare him, but you want to at least give him as much confidence as he can early. And I think depending on how this Seattle game goes, then I don't think they'll start Justin Fields. But I will say this: Matt Nagy is on the hot seat, and he better start Justin Fields very, very quickly. That means if he got to start him, second half of game one, then he better do that. He's on the hot seat. And if Chicago is struggling, he won't make it to, the trade deadline. He'll probably be fired by then just because he was brought there to be an offensive-minded coach, and their offense has sucked ever since he's gotten there. It's not looked good. So I think that's why they have to start Justin Fields as soon as they can. Because to what Trevor just said, like, it's clear, it's evident that Justin Fields is the better quarterback. We saw what Andy Dalton did in Dallas. He wouldn't. I'm not sure what else you need to see.
Yeah, so the Bears start the season week 1. I think it's the Sunday night football game against the Rams. So.
Oh, Rams. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
I changed it. Let me change it. It's Matt Stafford. Let me change. I'm Matt Stafford, but Andy Dalton. I'm changing that. Andy Dalton because Lord have mercy.
Your first game of the season, and you got to go against Aaron Donald.
Andy Dalton because Aaron Donald and Ramsey. Never mind.
Jeez, good point. Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch mine to give my boy another week to recover.
Never mind.
Yeah. Week 2, here we go.
I think somebody, I don't know which one of you guys said it, but I think he said, I don't know if they were talking about with Justin Fields or who have you or Andy Dalton. I think they said may not make it past week 2. That's looking like a possibility.
Sure.
So they're at LA for Sunday Night Football. The following week they open up their home against the Bengals. So yeah, if they're 0-2 to start the season, you might see Justin Fields a lot.
Yeah, you can go and run little Andy Dalton out there. Go and run him out there for game 1. That's fine. You'll take 1-1. You'll take the first one against Cincinnati. So yeah.
Who knows? They may try to do a Dalton versus old team in week 2 type of media deal. I mean, we never know. So I agree. But we know storylines, man. Good publicity, bad publicity, it's publicity overall. So, yep.
It's on me. If y'all can't tell, I got my baby with me. Kira stepped out, so I gotta hold on to her. So I might not be as vocal if she turning up, but we on the top 10 quarterbacks, the real list. I feel like this list is, for the most part, fair. So I'm gonna run through it real quick.
Oh Lord.
All right,
Trevor, what you do?
It's what Skyler did for me, but we gonna pass on that because it didn't meet the matter. Number 1 was Tom Brady. Number 1 is Tom Brady. We all know that. Number 2, Pat Mahomes. We know that. Number 3, Aaron Rodgers. We know that. Number 4, top 4, Allen. We know that. Number 5, Russell Wilson. Number 6, Deshaun Watson. We're not speaking on his situation. We all know that. Number 7, Lamar Jackson. Number 8, Ryan Tannehill. No, yeah, I feel the same about Lamar Jackson. Number 9, Dak Prescott. Number 10, Matt Stafford. Gentlemen, that's the top 10 LBRs quarterbacks for this upcoming season. We can go in the order on the screen. Have at it.
What the hell Baker Mayfield at?
I'm saying too. I'm saying too.
Did he get Odell Beckham back? And
I bet
another year
Whoa.
everybody? Are y'all serious right now?
I thought about this. I honestly thought about this, and this is why he's on my list and Baker's not. But if Baker's on the list, Ben's got to be on the list because Ben had a better season than Baker. Yes, he did. Check the stats.
Didn't Baker get him that work twice in a row at the end of the season in the playoffs?
That's true. I give you that.
And Baker's getting one of the best wide receivers in the game.
On the team side. Let's be real. Hold on. On the team side. Let's be real. On the team side. Yeah, they beat us in the playoffs. And then the game before, you beat Mason Rudolph, which is not really hard to do anyway. But check the stats between Ben and Baker. Ben has pretty much better stats. It's not. I mean, it's not obvious.
This is the thing about the realist. We're projecting for next season, not previous season.
Yeah,
and that's top 20, not top 10. Seth, what the heck?
Somebody kicks. Somebody kicks up.
Tag me in, Trevor.
Top 20 may be too low though. I give him top 15. I give him top 15.
I had Baker at 9, so he's like a fringe top 10 player. But I feel like Baker this year, I feel like their defense is going to be way better, which is going to yield him to be a better quarterback. You got 2 of the top running backs in the league. You got 2 of the top receivers in the league. You got tight ends. The coach is there now. They got a great coaching staff.
Yeah.
So I feel like
he has.
I feel like it's the year for him.
He has the capability to do it. I just need to see it.
Okay, that's fair.
The North still runs through Benjamin Roethlisberger. So until I see it,
not no more. Not since last year.
Skyler look like he want to say something.
Go ahead, Skyler.
What Savage just said, what Took just said, is the reason why Baker Mayfield is not in my top 10. That team is good. The team is good. The running backs are good. The offensive line is good. That defense is good. But Baker Mayfield himself is not a top 10 quarterback. Because even if he was, ladies and gentlemen, he hadn't got a contract extension yet. If Cleveland felt as if he was a top 10 quarterback, if they felt like he was the answer, why is he hadn't gotten an extension yet?
Look, I learned a long time ago not to question God plan, so that ain't got nothing to do with it. You're a salty Steelers fan. That's all it is. You're a salty Steelers fan, and that's cool. It's cool.
I'm not salty because guess what? Josh Allen, he got an extension.
Hey,
it's coming.
It's coming.
Patience is a virtue, gentlemen.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
I'm serious when I say this. I'm not hating against them. Cleveland is a good team. They have the best offensive line in the league. They have 2 really good running backs. They have a running back that's in the top, I think, our top 3. Their defense is legit. Like, I'm not questioning any of that. But the question was, give me your top 10 quarterbacks. And again, I get everything that's around him. I mean, I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league. That's my only thing.
Thank you, Sharky.
Okay, Sharky.
Lamar Jackson over Baker Mayfield.
That's what I want to hear.
I'll take Baker over Lamar Jackson. I was half of it. I'll take Baker over Lamar Jackson.
I will too.
Yeah, I need to hear who has Lamar Jackson. Why is Lamar Jackson on this list?
Lamar, not my top 10. I got Baker over him. Lamar can't throw.
I just want to know why is he on the top 10?
Who, Lamar? Yeah, me too. Because I ain't got him on mine.
Top 10 quarterbacks. Like, why?
Well, I mean, Lamar Jackson, the only team he loses to is what? Kansas City and Tennessee? Which are 2 really good things. Everybody else he beats. And look at this percentage. Like, he's winning games. He's winning games.
Lamar Jackson, for his career, has only thrown for over 300 yards twice, and that was in the same season. The blowout game against the Dolphins, and the playoff game in which they got smoked by Tennessee Titans. Shout out to Cap.
You talking about the same MVP, Lamar Jackson? Is that?
Yeah, he's an MVP.
Come on now.
We got a contract extension, so you don't question God's
roll the football.
Lamar's the MVP. Sean Alexander was an MVP. I don't want to hear that miss.
They got whooped.
That is true. Sean Alexander was an MVP.
I heard Baker won a part of the top 10 and lost it. Can you repeat the list again?
And just go to like 6 through 10. We good on 1 through 5.
We good on top 5. Yeah,
so 6 through 10 in the order is Deshaun Watson. No arguments here.
No arguments.
Lamar Jackson. I got beef with that. Ryan Tannehill, Dak Prescott, Matt Stafford. That's the bottom half of the top 10.
I had Justin Herbert.
Now Sharky had beef with Tannehill being 8. I'm okay with Tannehill being 8 because I feel like he's a top 10 quarterback. I just gotta see in the playoffs at some point. And I find it ironic that Jackson and Tannehill are both kind of like in the same area. They both have had playoff struggles. And then Prescott at 9 makes sense too. He hasn't just performed well in the playoffs either. And then Stafford, I don't think he's ever won a playoff game. So
he's going to be happy.
But Stafford is in a system now.
That's better. I agree.
That's better for him.
I had Stafford, I think, at like 7, I think. Because I think he's going to do well with that offense.
Exactly.
I believe I had him at 8 or 9. I can't believe. I can't remember.
I didn't do it, so I can't say where I had him. But I definitely would have not had him at 10. At number 10, I think he is better. I think also we have to think about, we're talking about what's going to happen next season.
Next year.
So yes, we hear what's happened in the past. Definitely hear that. But Matthew Stafford is not with the Lions anymore. He is with the Rams, with Sean McVay, who is a quarterback guru. Ben Roethlisberger is entering his 47th season with looking at porn. So I don't even believe he should be mentioned in this whole category. So Tannehill has proven year after year he might not be the best quarterback, but he's managing the team well. That's what a quarterback does. And so I believe Tannehill deserves to be in the top 10.
I do too.
Now,
I had Tannehill there.
I think Lamar Jackson is a question of where he's at in place. I hear what we're saying. Yes, he had the MVP season before. Yes, agreed. Yes, he hasn't thrown for over 300 yards. Agreed. But when's the last time we talked about the Ravens not being in the playoffs? And they're going to still be in the playoffs.
But that's to Skyler's point when we were talking about Baker. They have a great team and a great concept built around him. But
do they have a great concept built around Baker or around Lamar?
Because I'm saying it's the same. It's basically the same. They have a basic scheme and everything for the team that runs well.
I got you. Like, so let me tell you this: if you switch Lamar, no. If you switch Lamar,
2-minute drill to win the game. Do you want Lamar Jackson throwing the football?
I want Lamar Jackson running the offense.
Thank you.
That's what I want. That's what he's for. I want Lamar
drill, and you can't hold on the football. Do you need him throwing the football?
2-minute drill. You down by 8. Do you who you want? I take Baker over Lamar. That's just me.
Okay, so then if you take that, then switch Lamar and Baker.
That's not really fair because the teams are built for around that player though. Because that team is built around Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
That's what I was saying. That's basically all I was saying. The teams that they have built around them, like the schemes, are actually to their life.
I think Baker could fit anywhere you put him at. Lamar has to have a running game, and if the running game's not working, he got to throw. Have fun.
Well, Lamar Jackson is part of that running game, though. I get like they both have teams that.
But this
they both have teams that fit their scheme. Yes. But at the end of the day, Kansas City, top to bottom, has a much better roster than Baltimore. Top to bottom. It's not even close.
I mean, they're a better quarterback. Quarterback makes it that much over the top. I mean, Kansas City defense ain't all that, in my opinion. But
I'm sorry. Baltimore and Cleveland. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say something. Okay,
Baltimore and Cleveland. Cleveland has a much better roster than Baltimore.
Yeah. Throwing back on the screen.
No, we need you blocked. We need you not coming.
Okay, so we talk about Dak. I had.
I'm
Dak,
here.
Like,
I'm present.
I had Dak. Like I think I had him at 9, which I think is. I had him at 10 because I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna be who he was anymore after that ankle injury. And then the MRI as well too with the shoulder. That's kind of like that's kind of interesting because he's not throwing at all in preseason games. He's getting like mental reps in practice. I've been watching Hard Knocks, so you kind of get a feel for the inside scoop of it. But it's something to be out there on that field and you got people running at you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Now if Dak gets healthy and he's playing how he was last year, then we can expect him to be like a top 6, top 7-ish quarterback. But also with last year, the Cowboys defense was terrible. And so a lot of those stats were empty calories with him having to catch up. So that was part of the reason why he did so well. So I kind of want to see him in those, at least now after the post-contract, high pressure situations. How's he going to perform when the game is tight and he got to go out there and perform when it's on him and not because he got to catch up being down 30 points to the Atlanta Falcons,
Agreed. And I think what Dallas is going to do, again, going back to that point of, GMs, or especially in this case, Jerry Jones, they like to do things to prove what they did was right. Dak got that extension. And so I think what's going to happen is I think they're going to be run heavy the first maybe 2-3 weeks of the season. And I think that's probably because of what Savage just said. Something's not right with Dak, with his shoulder. I get that you don't want him to get hurt. You want to preserve that shoulder, but to as much time as he missed last season, and then you just gonna run him out there week 1. That just because it's like you just want him to be healthy, like you got to give him some run. So I think they're going to go run heavy the first 2 weeks, but then I think they're going to say, "All right, we're about to air this out with CeeDee Lamb." Gallup. I think they're gonna throw the ball a lot this year. So really, statistically, I think Dak will be a top 5. Statistically, now I think he'll be a top 5 quarterback.
He was top 1 last year before he got hurt.
Yeah. Agreed.
They should have just kept Andy Dalton.
End the show.
No, we got to throw them out, buddy.
But any more comments on top 10 quarterbacks? Next week we doing, I think, wide receivers.
I think it's wide receivers next,
and then defense will end it out. But yeah, I feel like this is. I mean, it's fair. Like I'm okay with Lamar being number 7. I get the argument for it. Personally, I wouldn't do it, but I feel like the top 10.
I understand it. I just
my top 10.
The number one thing for a quarterback is to be able to throw the football, and for a guy that's only thrown for 300 yards twice in his career.
No, the number one thing for a quarterback is to win.
Yep.
Win the game.
Job is to win. However
that's
but why is Deshaun Watson so high? I'm just playing.
Like if this was a top 10 players, then yeah, Lamar would have been on my list, but his quarterbacks. But anyway, moving along.
All right. Well, let's
This
end
is
the
saying,
show out, right? Troll and all. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of trolling going on in that last segment, but you know, it is what it is. Any of y'all got one?
Trying to think about football.
I actually got one for football. I don't know if we had this conversation or not. I forgot where I saw this at, but it asks, is cornerback the hardest position in football? So trolling all, cornerback, not quarterback. Cornerback is the hardest position in football.
Corner?
Corner DB?
DB?
No.
Yeah.
No.
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 What's hard?
Quarterback is not only the most difficult position in football, but it's probably the most difficult position in sport. Is quarterback.
Not corner, defensive back.
Yeah, but and that's what I'm saying.
The quarterback is the most difficult.
Oh, quarterback.
Right. I'm saying I don't think corner's not. No, I don't think corner's the most difficult. No, I think it's quarterback.
It is hard. Like I saw this and it was hard for me because I get it. Like cornerback, you got to be able to know the field. You got to stop a certain play because if you don't, that's an easy, touchdown in some cases. And of course, you do have safeties to kind of balance out, play devil's advocate, but you do have to keep your man in front of you as defensive end, and anything can happen in a split second just like that. So that's why
I'll say this. I think it's easier to make the Pro Bowl as a quarterback than a cornerback because I feel like you can tailor an offense to make it friendly to your quarterback, deficiencies. But when you're out there on that island and you got to go get Tyreek Hill, ain't no hiding you. Safety, linebacker, 2 corners. It's literally, I think, hardest to be a cornerback because you got to backpedal against Tyreek Hill running forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's cornerback.
And then you have to play defense without touching them.
Go ahead, Sheik. Go ahead.
The thing about the cornerback position is, to your point, Savage, yes, you do have to line up against Tyreek Hill and all these other ones, but you're not always in a man coverage or a press man coverage. You get to sit back, so to speak, sometimes in a cover 2 zone or a cover 3 zone, depending upon the scheme that is called by the defensive coordinator. Quarterback has to navigate what is the scheme that the cornerbacks are running. Mm-hmm. Where is the defense going to be set? Where is the blitz going to be? Where do I need to move coverage or get my help from for my offensive line? And that's really, the quarterback is really the harder position for me. Along with sometimes a corner can get subbed out. Yep. You don't sub out a quarterback. If you sub out a quarterback, we in trouble, i.e. the Dallas Cowboys. So, legitimately to me, when you're talking about, if we're talking about football alone, I know Shark is a great receiver, so he knows how difficult it could be with a corner. Quarterback is the toughest one of them all. Because, again, when you sub out a quarterback, now we're talking. You sub out a cornerback, okay, we got somebody else to fill that void, and now I can run a different coverage for that.
So you said if you sub out a quarterback, you're in trouble. I mean, I don't think anybody want to put in their third, well, I guess, depending on how you describe it, third, second string cornerback against the best receiver on the team. Maybe that's just me. I saw Mr. Trubisky make the Pro Bowl, and I ain't never seen a cornerback that did not deserve to make the Pro Bowl. But that's just me. Trubisky, I mean, he played decent for the Bills yesterday, but I mean, nobody picking Trubisky to be on their team today. I would.
Was he in the top 10 quarterback list? Are you right?
Yeah, no.
I'm still shocked this man was a Pro Bowler. Jesus.
Okay. Exactly. And he was also a Nickelodeon MVP, but that's neither here nor there.
Listen, even Emmett Okur went to an All-Star game.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So was Mo Williams. So was Brad Miller.
I got one, and then we can end after this. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Troll or nah? Christian McCaffrey is a top 10 running back.
Whoa. I mean,
Yep.
that's not a troll. Whoa, Sheedy. What? You know what? I'm just gonna mute and just look at my daughter. I'm gonna let Toot handle that. Toot, you got it, bro.
It's a no. I know.
I answered that
I
bullshit last week. I'm not answering that shit again. Sheedy just wanted to troll. And like I actually put Dak in my top 10, regardless of if he can stay healthy or not. That's crazy.
No.
You had to ask that question right after I had to deal with Trevor dealing with his craziness. Like, I'm not doing that again. The pass is a pass for a reason, dog.
I know.
We got baby Zena right here. I'm trying not to cuss in front of her, but you got me acting like a heathen on a Sunday. Man, nah. I'm not gonna do this with y'all.
I will say this. The reason why I brought it up is because Trevor's crazy. Christian McCaffrey is definitely a top 10 running back in every league he's ever been in, including when he was with Stanford.
I will hold that L there. I will hold that L. Thank you.
I had to downgrade him. It wasn't until I was like, you know what, bro? You my brother back again. But after that, it sucks. It sucked, man. It sucked that it be your own people that stab you in the back. You know what I'm saying? But I love you. I love you regardless, Trev. I love you regardless. Happy belated birthday.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Oh man, Christian McCaffrey top 10. Hey, top 10 wide receiver next year. Y'all better have my boy on there. That's all I'm gonna say.
Who?
You know who? You know who? The Christian McCaffrey teammate.
Oh, I thought you were saying Christian McCaffrey.
We can have him listed as top 10 wide receiver on that too. I'll be like, all right.
Damn.
I don't know about that.
Damn.
I mean, we talked about this too. He been balling, but I don't know yet. We'll see. I gotta look and make sure.
Okay, well, he's definitely in my top 10, so I can't wait till next week is gonna be crazy. Man, y'all saw that I'm Baker not in the top 10, to my brothers and not having Christian McCaffrey in the top 10. I damn near don't want to do this list no more.
Well, I mean, you should get some help next week for your wide receivers.
No, we'll see. But if y'all ain't got nothing else, we appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Yeah, well, it's gonna get interesting. It's gonna get interesting. Make sure y'all follow us at Let's Be Real LBR Sports 901 on Twitter. Let's Be Real LBR Media Instagram, Twitter. Man, make sure y'all follow the squad. Yours truly at Tev Shakir. Sharky, we miss you. We love you, man. Make sure you with us next week. Shout out to you and the wifey. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got anything else?
No, that's it.
That's it. Good. All right. We'll see you until next time.
Almost there,
next
y'all.
week.
Football.
Hey, we almost there. We almost there. Football season right around the corner. Yes, God is good all the time.
Yes, he is all the time.
All the time, God is good. We're gonna leave it on that note. Happy Sunday, gentlemen. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us. We'll see y'all next week.
Be easy.
Stay black. Stay nice.